What's up guys, my name is Josh from Working Aussies Homestead, and this is our week 2 video of raising freedom rangers. So I hope you guys are strapped in. As you can see possibly around me, it is snowing. It was 70 degrees like 2 days ago and 60 the next day, and it's snowing today. So we're just gonna hop into this video and show you how to be prepared with your freedom rangers. So let's go. Day 8 guys, we are already at day 8 in week 2, and let me show you some things you're going to be seeing as you come into day 8. You're not going to see them necessarily on every single chick, but your chick is going to start getting bigger. Look, it's still fluffy, but look at these flight feathers. Look at these flight feathers. These flight feathers are getting long. They're getting luscious. They're getting pretty. So this is what's going to happen during this week. This is your primary growth for the week. You're going to start seeing these fill out. They're going to get some tail feathers. But this guy's going to still look like a little puffball for the most part of this whole week. And I'll show you something here. So this is a 1 week old bird. So you can see the difference here. Look at the difference in size. So these guys are definitely getting bigger. It's crazy. It's only been 7 days. But they're definitely getting bigger. In addition to, checking everything, making sure your heat's regulated at day 8, you should be around 86 to 84 degrees. Making sure that that's regulated. They're running around. They're happy. They're not just laying out looking all hot and sad. So let's move on to day 8. Alright guys, so it's day 8. We went ahead and changed out the pine shavings because they were looking and smelling a little weird. So I wanted to go ahead and put some more in there so that we had fresh bedding, no problems whatsoever. One of the things I did want to mention is if you see your birds, if it's a warm summer or if you've got a couple of number of heat lamps in there, and they're just laying around, they look a little lethargic, maybe a little heat sensitive. It might be time to really check on that heat and make sure it's not getting too hot in the brooder. Now, at this point, you can get them a little hot. You want to make sure you're not doing that. Another way you can help the birds with their temperature is water. If you've got really cold water that comes out of your spigot, or you've got well water that comes out really cold, just empty their water out and give them fresh water. That's cooler than the water that's inside. We do that sometimes, and it'll help them regulate their temperature better. And then that way, you're not worried about the temperature as much as you would be coming back every hour and making sure it's not too hot or too cold in the brooder itself. All right, so now we're on the next day. We have been doing the food and the waterers. They freak out every time I do that. They're just so skittish. But let's talk about brooder space for a minute. So if you are planning on doing this, you're going to want to know you can't just make a spot and then put chicks in it. It doesn't work that way. There's a certain amount of space that they need. So from about 1 week to about 4 weeks, you need about 0.45, or if you want to round it up, about half a foot per bird. So if you've got 50 chicks, which is what we started with the first year, you're going to want a 25 square foot brooder, and that will cover you until about 4 weeks. And then at 4 weeks, they definitely need at least 1.5 to 2 square foot per bird. So that goes from half to then doubling your space by the amount of birds that you have. So just make sure you're keeping that in mind. Make sure you're giving the birds enough space so they can run around and explore and they not build up their poop too quickly. So we are just checking them today. We're just keeping an eye on them, making sure they're doing well and making sure they have enough space. You'll know they'll have enough space by they'll like stretch their wing out like this, ooh, or they'll stretch their leg out behind them like this. It's kind of cute actually. So just watch them. Come outside, watch your birds today. It's gonna be a fun day. It's Sunday here, and we're gonna go to church and we're gonna watch our birds. All right, guys, day 11. And look at these guys, man. They're just hanging out. So as you can see, these feeders are absolutely destroyed when I get home. So what you're gonna find out is gonna start happening right around day 11. If you're doing, a good job, they're staying warm, they're rummaging around, they're running around, they're gonna start digging, or at least I've noticed they've started digging. They're digging into their wood shavings. They're finding some feed that might be, especially in the area where the feed is, they're gonna start digging there because the feed's gonna fall out of the feeder and into the brooder and then get nestled into the wood shavings. They're gonna start digging that up and digging into the dirt. So if they're doing that, then you're doing a good job. That means that they're exploring some, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. You want them to start exploring and figuring out their area. They're gonna do the same thing when they're out in the chicken tractor. So if they're doing it in here, they're gonna do it out there, and that's really good. I'm gonna go ahead and get these guys cleaned up for the evening, and then we will we will go into the next day right now. I'm gonna tell you a little thing that you're gonna get annoyed with, especially in the brooder time, but it's okay. So you might come back and check on their food and it just be covered in these wood chips from where they've kicked up the dirt and stuff. That's okay, just clean it out. I usually just clean out the whole thing because there's probably some poop in there filled into those wood shavings, and you don't want that stuff coming in contact with the bird. The food might look fine, but if there's any poop or any kind of feces whatsoever, you don't want it coming in contact with their food because they could get sick, and you wouldn't want poop in your food. So we had a question from a viewer, and she asked, is there a minimum on chicks that you have to start with? And the answer to that question is yes. The hatcheries usually have a minimum of birds that you have to do per season. Some may be 6 and some may be 15, and there may be some other ones. I know that McMurray usually is about 15, Meyer is usually about 15, those hatcheries. Freedom Rangers, I think, were 6 at the end of the season. They might be higher during the beginning of the season. So really the simple way to answer this question is when you're ready to go get birds, just go on there and they should have like a minimum that you have to purchase. Like when we got our replacement chicks, we only lost 7, but we had to get a minimum of 15 for shipment. So keep that in mind when you're getting these chicks. Let's roll into the next day. All right, guys, day 13, and I'm not with my chicks. And you're thinking, why are we not with the chicks? Well, we are going to be talking about something else today. That's very important because we're coming on the end of week 2, and you probably have some questions about space. And as you can see, I've got some green grass growing back here. But wait, there's no green grass over here. What does that mean, Josh? Why is there green grass here and no green grass here? Simple. This area is where we ran the chickens last year, and this area is not. So I'm going to show you this for example. I'm standing in front of my driveway right here. So driveway starts here, and then back there, that space, that is where we ran the chickens. Right up to the garden, right there. From here to there. Now, that's probably 2,500 to 3,200 square feet for 50 birds at about 1.75 square feet per bird in a tractor by the time they were 12 weeks old. Now, I'm going to break this down for you a little bit because we're going to start talking about how much space you need, really start thinking about your tractor, and really start thinking about what it takes to raise the birds on the grass, because by the end of next week, we're really going to have to start thinking about it. Going to have your tractor built, and you're going to really start getting excited. They're going to start getting out the grass, because at the end of week 3, beginning of week 4, they got to go out on grass. So last year we ran about 1.75 square feet per bird, but the average and easiest way to do it is 2 square feet per bird. So let's say you started off with 25 birds for your family. So you're going to need a chicken tractor that is 50 square feet, even from start, 50 square feet. And then I would say that's probably going to be somewhere around 2,000, 2,500 square feet overall. Let's calculate that again. Let me see if I can throw it up here. So we've got 25 birds, and we're going to times that by 2, and that's how many square feet we need in the chicken tractor. So that's going to be 50, and we're going to calculate that by however many days. I'm going to do the math later. By however many days, that's how many times you're going to move it. Times that by your 50 square feet. That's how many square feet you're going to have overall. And that's how much space you need in your yard. So let's roll into the last day of this week. I'm excited. These guys are growing fast, and I'm just excited to have clean, fresh meat again because we're running out. So let's go. Day 14. It's late tonight. I'm gonna make this really quick because if you can't tell in the video, it's snowing. So it's snowing here in North Carolina. I don't want them to get too cold, but I'll show you what I've done here. This food supply is here, and this food supply is here. And basically, what I want to do is get that food supply nice and close to the light, so they don't have to go that far to get food, at least. And then that way they don't get too cold. So I'm gonna lock this up. That's the day for day 14. Kind of a quick day, but third week's coming up, so we're gonna roll into the third week here after this video. So stay tuned. All right, guys, and that is it. That is the end of week 2. Man, it's going by so fast. Week 12 is gonna be here before you know it. But you know what? We're glad to have you along, and we hope you enjoyed every piece of information that we gave you in this video. If you did like every piece of information in this video, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. We would love to have you as a part of the community and learning about not only chickens, but also gardening and some other stuff that we talk about on this channel. Make sure you hit that bell button so you get notified whenever we post another video. And until next time, you guys, we'll see you in the next video, and have fun with whatever you're doing. Bye, guys.